Welcome back to the channel, folks. So today we are taking a look at a super cool gun. This is the Dan Wesson Heirloom 2023 in 38 Super. Now, I filmed a short on this. I have fired a few rounds out of this gun for the short. I did an unboxing of a short. It comes in a cardboard box, and then you get this bag. So let's see what you get inside the bag. I'm gonna unzip it, and you get one spare magazine. That's awesome. Unlike Colt, who gives you only one magazine with their guns. You get the lock, you get the manual, you get a Dan Wesson sticker. That's very cool. And then you get, in this other pocket, you get the gun. And look at this bad boy. This is insane how beautiful this gun is. This is nuts. This thing is beautiful. And Dan Wesson, this is the first Dan Wesson I've ever owned. Not the first I've fired, but the first one I've ever owned. And let me tell you something. They make very high quality 1911s. This thing, I mean, it is unbelievably smooth. I mean, it's like it's on roller bearings. My one pet peeve, the thumb safety. Oh my gosh, it is a positive. No play. The trigger's amazing. I don't know even, I mean, the trigger is just amazing on this thing. Everything is flush fit beautifully. The finish is 99.99% perfect. There's a little spot I'm going to show you on here. It came with a little tiny nick, but I don't care about that, man. I'm not going to collect this stuff. I did kind of get it for a collector's piece, but I'm shooting it. This is my barbecue gun, because not only is it a beautifully engraved 1911, but it's in 38 Super, man. That's crazy. So let's just, let's take a look do some of the customary checks that I do. Again, I do this in every video because, you got to check certain things on 1911s. So first of all, I check the positivity or lack thereof on the grip safety, and it's amazing. It just snaps right into place. It's beautiful. As you can see, it is a single-sided safety. It's not ambient. They threw a little scroll work in there. That's fantastic. It has checkered mainspring housing and checkered front strap. It has looks like an extended, it's a little bit of extended mag release, and the ejection on the mags is fantastic. It just shoots right out of there. So it's pretty flippin' awesome. It's got the standard length solid trigger. Okay, that's great. No guide rod. I don't like guide rods on 1911s. I never really have. I know that was a thing back in like the late 90s, mid to late 90s, early 2000s. Everybody was throwing in guide rods on their 1911s. It's got an awesome, let's see if you can see it, target crown. It is cut and recessed there. Brass bead front sight, very cool. It's got the U-notch rear sight. And it does have a very sharp shelf right there, so you can rack it off your belt or your shoe or whatever if you need to do some one-handed manipulations. It has faux kind of ivory style grips, these RG10, and let me see if you can kind of see the lines in there where it is G10, but they're freaking beautiful grips, kind of an off-white color. It's awesome. It says 38 Sup up there. Match on the barrel, and says, see what we can grab right there, Heirloom. Look at that. That's just this. Again, I say it again. This is the ultimate barbecue gun. Come at me, bro, if we're at the barbecue, and let's compare who's got the better looking and the more exotic caliber. You got to throw that in there. You can't just have a standard 1911 and 45 as a barbecue gun. I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want, but this is just a little bit of a step up. So let me do, again, like I said, kind of got sidetracked there. Let me do the checks on it. Very positive safety. There's no play going down on the thumb safety, which is a pet peeve of mine. Does it work? Let's depress the grip safety and make sure the thumb safety works. Let me engage it first. It does work. The hammer does not fall. Let's disengage it and make sure the grip safety works. And it does. Now let's press it in and see where the engagement point is at. It's about halfway, and that's exactly where you want it. You want about 50-50. Yep, you don't want to have to go all the way down before it engages. And it is engaged there. Yep. All right. Now you want to push forward on the hammer as hard as you can. If the hammer falls, that is poor hammer to sear engagement. And again, you usually get that with guns, competition guns that had custom trigger jobs of like 2, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. You start getting down that low and you're putting a couple thousand rounds through them, and they start wearing out on those engagement surfaces. So you just want to check that. It worked fine. You want to check barrel to hood fit. So you want to press down on this. If there's a lot of movement, that means it's incorrectly fit between the slide stop, slide release with the link in there and the barrel. It's not engaging the lugs in the top all the way, and that can affect accuracy. But this one is fantastic, guys. This is every bit a custom 1911 of some of the bigger manufacturers. This thing is fantastic. It shoots like a dream. We're gonna get the trigger pull, we're gonna get the weight and all that kind of stuff. I think this is a PVD or a DLC coating. Oh, let me mention, ejection port is lowered and flared. As you can see there, it is not relieved in the front though, but it's lowered and flared. Slide serrations are the standard vertical 1911 that they have in. And it's funny because this is, if you look at the serial number, it says H for Heirloom, 23 is the year, and this is a 314th pistol made out of the 500. Now, I've only seen one video of this where a channel, I forget the name, they interview a rep from Dan Wesson at one of the shows. I don't think it's SHOT Show. It might be NRA. Early in the year, this is 2023, and I'm filming this at the end of 2023. And they said there's around 500 made. So I don't know if there's exactly 500 made, but there's around. And every year, Dan Wesson makes 500-ish heirloom models. They don't all look like this. Some of them have, there's one year they had like a color case hardened slide and a blue grip in 45. So they're all different for the year, and they'll put them with the year. This is the 2023 model, and they only make the 500, like I said. So this is the first year, to my knowledge, of them looking exactly like this. And then the topper was, they made it in 38 Super. It's fantastic. This thing looks like glass. It looks like a very, very, very deep black blued, except this finish is better than standard bluing. And it's just, yeah, it's an all-around fantastic firearm. Now these are a little bit hard to find, and they do go for over $2. I think this one was about $2,300. And I found it at Bud's. I don't know if any of the other stores have them out there, if you can find one, but if this is something that you're into, man, try to find it and pick you one up. It's fantastic. The one flaw, let me go ahead and rack it. You can see it's got a ramp barrel. So I have another 38 Super, and I'm going to keep getting more because I love 38 Super. I don't know if you can see that. It's a fully ramped barrel. The Colt I have, Gold Cup Trophy, it just has a standard style 1911 barrel setup where the ramp is in the frame. This one is fully ramped, as I just showed you. Now, supposedly, I haven't been able to confirm it or check it, but supposedly the ramped 38 Super barrels support the case more to the back, which is where you can run into issues with 38 Super and overpressure if you're, hand loading your own. It's not fully supported in the standard barrel configuration because they used to, let me see if I can, I'm not going to take it apart, but let me see if I can see it from under here. Not really, but there's a little tiny cutout because if you're not familiar with 38 Super, it is semi-rimmed pistol cartridge, which means the rim sticks out past the body of the case just a little bit. So when these were first invented in the early 1900s when the 38 Auto came out, and then the 38 Super came out in the mid 1920s, 30s, somewhere around there. Somebody don't know the exact date. They indexed off the rim. So there was a little tiny cut in the barrel hood right here in the back and the inside where they indexed off. Now they index off of both. They'll have the rim, I think, more to just let the cartridge sit in there, and then they'll have, it actually indexes off the case mouth like the majority of, if not all, semi-automatic pistols. They headspace, I should say index, same thing. Headspace is what I meant. They headspace off of into the case mouth. So that makes them super accurate. Let's get a weight on this thing. Let's see what we can get here. Weight. Let me put the magazine back in. 41.23 ounces. So pretty much a standard 1911. It's a 2.5 pound gun, basically. Almost 2.5 pounds. So let me see if I can get my cheapo trigger gauge to work. Yes, looks like it might work. Let's see if we can get some trigger pulls off this bad boy. So let me come over the top. You know what? I'll go to the bottom with this one. Let's see what. 348. Let me switch it. 282. Let me reset it. And 326. So if I had to average, it's probably around a 3-pound trigger pull, and I can tell that. It is fantastic. This might be one of the best triggers I have on a 1911, and I have a couple of Les Bears, a couple of Ed Browns, and they have fantastic triggers too. And when we get around to reviewing those, we're going to find out who actually has the best trigger. But I would put this one right up there. It is fantastic. If you've never fired a 1911 and 38 Super, it shoots like a freaking dream. It's amazing. So you know what? Let's take this bad boy out to the range and see how she shoots. Let's just shoot a few rounds through her because I'm not going to collect this and not shoot it. Like I stated before, I fired a couple rounds through a short when I unboxed it, when I took it out there. And we're going to see how accurate. Oh, I almost forgot. Let me forget. The one problem I have with this pistol that I noticed, I didn't notice it right out of the box, and it didn't bother me. I did not do it. If I did, I would claim, I would, own up to it. But it came out of the box like that. I noticed it right away after I picked it up, and it doesn't bother me too much. Because like I said, I'm going to shoot this bad boy. It's not going to sit. It's not going to be a safe queen. There's a little tiny, let me see if maybe I can zoom in. And we can see that tiny little nick right there in the finish. You kind of see it's silver right there. See it? Just a tiny nick. And I picked it up from the store like that. I saw it. I knew what I was getting. I don't care. Like I said, well, I'm going to shoot it anyway. So, and you're starting to see where I fired a few rounds and there is some barrel hood wear starting to wear in, which is fine. I shoot my guns, man. I don't make them safe queens. I did that before. I used to own a Les Bear Monolith Heavyweight. Shout out to my buddies that they're watching this video. They know exactly what I'm talking about. I loved that gun. I think I owned that gun for, I don't know, a decade or more, and I don't think I put 1,000 rounds through it. It was just, I would take it out the safe and just wipe it down with a silicone cloth because it was the first very, very expensive high-end 1911 I purchased, and it was a beautiful gun and it shot beautifully. I kind of wish I didn't get rid of it, but yeah, there it is. So let's go out to the range and shoot this sucker. Okay, so we are at the accuracy portion with my Dan Wesson barbecue gun. As you can see, we have the standard USPSA cardboard target with 2-inch shooting C's. Ignore that top one. That was a different gun that we shot. I think the T-Sauce Raider. I've been out here filming multiple videos. It's cold though. I'm gonna go in the house, but I like doing this. So anyway, we got a 2-inch shooting C. We got the Dan Wesson barbecue gun in 38 Super. We got 3 rounds of, I think this is Fiyoshi. Yeah, 130 grain Fiyoshi. 2-inch shooting C, like I said. I'm gonna go back 7 yards and we're gonna see how she shoots. Okay, so she shoots. I hope so, for the price that I paid for this bad boy. But isn't that beautiful? Look at that scrolling in the Wyoming sunlight. It's magic. Let's flip this camera around and get the final thoughts. So final thoughts on the Dan Wesson Heirloom 2023 in 38 Super. I think it's fantastic. Fit, finish. I mean, comes with 2 magazines. Colt. All right, guys, I know I've said it before, but they only made 500 of these, or maybe, I think the guy said less than 500. I don't know. We're going to go with 500. They only made around 500 of these guns each year, the Heirloom model. And this year they decided, as I stated before, to do the black DLC with the beautiful scroll work on it. And this, I mean, this is just like butter. Butter. The thumb safety is fantastic. Guys, this is a great gun. Is it worth the $23.99? Hell yes. In my opinion, it's absolutely worth it. If you guys don't like this gun, I don't care, because it's my gun and I bought it and I dig it. And I think it is the ultimate barbecue gun. The only thing that could compare with this is maybe one of the Colt Jaguars, or one of those awesome, the Aztec or something that's got gold inlay and it's all in 38 Super. Now that might give me a run for my money at the barbecue, but this thing is accurate. It's got a ramp barrel as opposed to the Colt. Gold bead front sights. Sights are fantastic. The scroll work is fantastic. Yes, I know it's probably done with the laser machine. I don't care. The G10 ivory grip, just the whole look of this gun is just super cool. And I dig it. And that's all that counts. Because like I said before, it's my money. It's my gun. So if you don't like it, it's too bad. I do. So if you are in the market for one of these, get them while they're hot, because 2023 is almost over. It might be hard finding one. And enjoy it. Shoot it. I'm not going to let this, even though it is a beautiful kind of collector's piece because of the limited edition and all that other kind of stuff, I'm not going to just let it sit in the safe unfired. As you saw, we shot the hell out of it. We're going to shoot it some more. We're going to keep shooting it. And that's all I got to say about that. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.